Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the full moon in Gemini that's happening November 22nd, 2018. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, this is a really unique and I think a beautiful energy for this full moon happening right on Thanksgiving Day and right as the sun moves from Scorpio to Sagittarius. There's a lot of energy on this part of the zodiac right now because we have a Mercury retrograde happening. And Mercury will go back into Scorpio for the first half of December and then come back out of Scorpio. So on Friday the 16th, we had Venus turn direct. Finally. But since Mercury also turned retrograde on that day, we're not really going to feel the coming out of the Venus retrograde right away, especially because we're waiting until Venus gets out of her shadow. So that will happen on December 17th. Now, Mercury turns direct on December 6th, and that's going to be a big shifting energy there. In December, we're kind of in this back and forth. We talked about these big shifting energies, but in December, we'll have, Mercury turn direct on the 6th, and then Chiron is going to turn direct on the 9th. And then we have Venus coming out of shadow on the 17th of December, and Mercury will come out of shadow on the 25th, on Christmas Day. So we're kind of looking until then, until we're totally in the clear, making sense of this retrograde season of 2018, retrograde 2018. And it's interesting how this Mercury retrograde is capping off the whole experience of retrograde energy. And in Sagittarius, going back into Scorpio. So Scorpio, with all that Venus retrograde in Scorpio, now Venus is going to return to Scorpio for the month of December. And so we're going to go back into that energy. And so Mercury and Venus will both be in the energy of Scorpio for those first couple of weeks. We'll be feeling that a lot, and it'll be kind of this completion energy. Just know this, that we're coming out of an intense psychic journey into the depths of who we are and what we really want and our self-worth and our meaning and purpose and all this. And now we're going to shine the light on it. Now that Jupiter's back in Sagittarius, at home in Sagittarius, and a really beautiful energy there. So what happens on this full moon on the 22nd on Thanksgiving Day is that the sun goes, in some parts of the world it's on the 23rd, but on the 22nd the sun goes into Gemini. So this full moon is at 0 degrees Gemini. It's more messages for us around something very new that's starting. And so 0 degrees Gemini, and Gemini is, Mercury's the ruler of Gemini. So we're having a lot of information here come forward, this making sense of what's been going on with our everyday conceptual reality is what Mercury's trying to help us do. And it'll be interesting because just after this full moon, and for the end of November, we're going to be feeling Jupiter and the sun, who haven't come together for a whole year, together with Mercury retrograde. Right? So it's telling us that we're trying to understand this rise of the phoenix, of coming back to a connection to something bigger, which is the Scorpio coming out of the depth of the psyche, the journey, and taking our life to the next level and reaching beyond our everyday mundane reality and feeling a connection, coming back into inspiration. So when that's going to be happening on the 27th, but we'll be feeling it there. And then right after that, Venus comes in to its third and final, opposition with Uranus. And Uranus is still in square to the nodes of the moon. So it's another intense energy. So we have another cross energy, but this time it's at the very end of the cardinal signs as Venus gets ready to go back in to Scorpio and complete its retrograde shadow period. And so we're still kind of like in mop up here, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And so this Mercury retrograde is actually kind of helpful because it's helping us assimilate and adjust and figure out what's going on. And with Jupiter and the Sun and Mercury all coming together in Sagittarius, we're going to be feeling that energy of reconnecting to inspiration and taking the benefits and the gifts of that journey into the underworld with Venus retrograde to take it to another level and really kind of, so be ready, be open to understanding and kind of connecting meaning and understanding of what's been really going on over this whole 2018. At the end of November, there's definitely a lot of energy for that. So for this full moon, we're still feeling, now Mars has gone into Pisces, so it's a very different energy. It's a huge shift for Mars because Mars has been stuck in Capricorn and Aquarius since April of this year, right? Flavoring this whole energy of retrograde 2018. And so Mars in Pisces, it's not its favorite place to be, but it's kind of nice for the season that we're in right now, and especially coming off all this intensity. And Mars, of course, wants to take action. And in Pisces, it's about connecting, feeling connected, feeling, allowing yourself to dream and vision. It's almost like we went to the depths to do this work that we needed to face where we're not feeling worthy and kind of figure out what we really want and all that in this Venus retrograde journey. And Mars is saying, hey, let's dream a little bit, right? Like, let's take some time to vision. Let's take some time to create, meditate and connect to this energy of something greater, this energy of creating our dreams and our visions. And there is still some confusion going on, though, because Mars there in Pisces we're still going to be feeling that square to Jupiter. And so that's bringing this interesting connection, and also that Mercury, so we've got Mercury retrograde square, and these are going to be kind of coming off just after this full moon, but it's kind of a culmination of this last week or two of this incredible energy of Mercury turning retrograde right on top of Neptune, right in exact square with Neptune. And just there's a huge message here for us, right? Of it's time to understand the past age, the Piscean age, and begin to move forward into a new energy. And of course, Mercury is like going on quite a journey. It's retrograde, Sagittarius, back into Scorpio, back into Sagittarius, in square to Neptune. And Neptune is just this huge energy of our collective consciousness and our spiritual connection, but also our delusions and confusion energy. So there's kind of a lot of confusion. It's interesting, this connection right here in this square energy with Sagittarius and the Pisces energy. And so Mars and Jupiter is saying, let's get ready. Mars wants to move forward, and Jupiter's saying, well, wait, we don't really know. We're just getting used to this new Sagittarius energy. We don't really know where we're going yet. Yes, we're back on the quest. Yes, we're on the journey. Yes, we are going to expand into who we really are, but we're not quite ready because Mercury, the messenger, has to get us some messages and some understanding about this cusp of the Scorpio journey into the depths of truth and meaning, but also, the shadow, and then taking that information. So it's like we're doing our research for the next chapter, right? And there's some confusion, though, because Mercury square Neptune, Mercury wants to understand it's a day-to-day life. Neptune's the big collective consciousness and hidden mysteries and things that don't make sense. So it's a little frustrating for Mercury, especially he's retrograde. He has to go back into Scorpio and figure out what the real meaning is. And now he's like, it's total and utter confusion about what the truth is, so just sit tight through this time, because it's a very, as far as what's going on in the world and perhaps your own personal life, it's not a time, this Mercury retrograde, because it's square to Neptune, it's not a time to figure out or know exactly what's going on. It'll be an unfolding process, probably some truths coming to light, and facing and seeing things for what they really are. But we have to, of course, face our delusions in order to do that. So just kind of a confusing time, but leading us into this sweet full moon, 0 degrees Gemini. Gemini wants to party and celebrate and communicate and talk and have a lively, beautiful time together. And so a really great energy for this time of year. And in, Thanksgiving, the time of year, is actually the completion, as the sun moves into Sagittarius, is a completion of what Rudolf Steiner talked about as the Michaelmas time. And the Michaelmas time is based on this mythology around Gaia, who slays the dragon. And the dragon represents the inner nature that overcomes us, or the ego, or the darkness inside that we're scared of. And we have to overcome to be able to, when we lose, as far as in the northern hemisphere, this process right now, but metaphorically, what this has been going on astrologically, we have to go every year as we go through the cycle in the southern hemisphere in the other 6 months, other parts of the year. But it's this time when the light goes away and we have to find our inner light. So Michaelmas starts at the end of September, when the sun goes into Libra, and it's pretty much over at the time when the sun goes into Sagittarius, right around the U.S. Thanksgiving. And so this is a time of celebration, a time of claiming our own inner light and knowing that we've made it through and we're going to survive together through the seasons coming. And so a really sweet energy of kind of with Mars and Pisces, and even though there's a little confusion and stuff, just taking a breath, slowing down, meditating, use that Mars and Pisces energy to connect to your creative side, connect to your visioning qualities. This is the time that we want to start thinking about what our new year is going to be like and what we'd like to see in the new year. And of course, and indeed, a lot of all the charts I've been looking at are so interesting, have a very defined, like right around solstice, Christmas, and into the new year, there's a very defined energy. It's interesting, like we are moving into a new chapter. It's a collective and an individual process. 2019 is going to be very different energy, so it's time to hunker down, be with ourselves, process everything that's happened, and be ready to kind of set our vibration, set our tone into the future of what we really want to see and bring into our life, and the energy frequency of that, and allow ourselves to dream and vision and find that hope and purpose again through all of this craziness that we've been going through. And so because of the holiday, I won't be doing a live activation, but I wanted to offer you a special meditation, and it's called Gifts and Gratitude. And it's about this energy of finding gratitude within, in the natural, organic welling up of true appreciation, and how that has to do with, what that has to do with, and how we find that energy as light worker souls with everything that we have gone through, and how we see the world. So I hope that you can check that out, and I will leave a link in the box to that meditation below. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time with family and celebration in the upcoming weeks. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.